On that note, ladies and gentlemen, it seems that we do have a final load-in. He actually managed to get his problems fixed, so we are underway. Artificial Intelligence versus the House of Gamers. Slight delays, apologies for them, but here we go. House of Gamers, I'm expecting to see the Dazzle and Venomancer ban out. Venomancer I was not expecting. They generally don't ban that out in the first phase. There are much scarier heroes, unless they know AI is up to something specific. The Invoker ban out by AI, they don't want anything to do with it this time, considering House of Gamers have a very strong Invoker player on their own half, like him being banned out. This seems like they want to avoid a push strategy.
Yeah, definitely. And the Invoker ban out is simply because if it's not something that you want to play, or you think it can just hinder you in any shape or form, just get rid of it. It can really survive in really harsh circumstances, and if you do get a Midas on the Invoker, it can come back into the game from a bad start very effectively.
Well,
So do you think Dazzle should be banned out?
AI is certainly thinking about it, but Ember is a bigger threat, and I do agree with that ban. Ember, of late, has been played to such a high degree, and Ancient Apparition will be the first pick for House of Gamers. This is the third time in 4 days of casting that we have seen AA first pick. In a grand total of the 7 games, including this one we've cast, AA first pick has happened.
Yeah, he is really strong. Not only is the Chilling Touch entirely just broken in what it gives you. We do see the Nyx Assassin and the Batrider for AI, so we potentially could be getting that offlane Nyx Assassin, but the potential for the Batrider offlane, once again, what we saw out of Artificial Intelligence last week was a real flexibility in how they could lane it.
Well, on the Nyx, that'll be a Helvilled Nyx by the most likely avenues here, and that'll be a mid-Batrider, most likely played by Kefka, since he played the Invoker last time around, I believe. So, I know someone is now jumping up and down in his chair on that Nyx pick. It happens. AA, who will they pair with this AA? They need a hard stun to go with this, so it locks down on the cold feet. That or a very powerful slow. Dazzle is in the pool, and Dazzle slow at level 2 is enough with an Ancient Apparition Chilling Touch to be a freeze. A full lockdown. Mirana to Arrow to go with this. This we have seen before.
It's not so much about the cold feet anymore. It used to be you would pick up a Naga with the Ancient Apparition to get that solid lock of the cold feet. But now it's a lot more about the Chilling Touch. That right-click capability is a lot more potent than that extra 2 seconds of the stun.
But we've seen this pairing before from House of Gamers. They do love their Mirana, they do love using the Moonlight Shadow, they love abusing the Moonlight Shadow and just finding kills where they shouldn't be found. Mag 11 crew do love to play aggressive the second they even get a hair's breadth of an opportunity. Lifestealer will be the ban out, and looking to avoid those magic immune carries. The innate BKB carriers will be the most ideal picks for AI here. We're not looking for any illusion warfare, no PLs this game. We have actually seen PL picked up a little bit more frequently than maybe a month ago in the competitive scene. PL's actually been picked twice, I believe, compared to the 0 times in the previous month.
What games were those? I actually haven't managed to catch any games where PL's actually been picked.
It was CIS Dota. I believe it was the CIS versus Chinese games, because they wanted to go late.
Oh, right.
Which I believe was in the latest Chinese league. I'll have to bring up the games on myself to check that one.
Yeah, I think that could be... Was it that one?
10 seconds remaining.
I'm really trying to remember this league. I know I went to the grand final with Vici and DK.
Either way, we do have the Bane ban out, and Dazzle is finally taken out. Dazzle's usually gone in the first set, and surprised he got through to the second set without being picked. Where are we going to pair this AA? What's it going to do? Is it going to be an aggro Trimarana, do you think? Or are we going to be seeing a defensive duo?
I think it will depend on what they pick for their mid lane. If they can run an aggressive mid lane, they might run the aggressive tri lane, but if they have a more defensive mid lane, they'll want to run the defensive tri lane. That way, the supports can roam off and help that mid.
Radiant team.
But Abaddon will be the banner of choice with the Rubik being picked up. I do love to see this. Rubik is one of my favourite heroes in the game. He can have such a presence, especially if he steals the right spells. And we have seen Rubik played in this league so far, previously being able to steal things along the lines of Moonlight Shadow, be able to counter-initiate with the Moonlight Shadow and cause all manner of havoc. And I believe that was in the Simple 5 AI game before.
Yep. Mr. Anson did pick up the Rubik in that previous game.
Now,
5 seconds
I'm
remaining.
going to get lynched again.
quite possibly. I am not forgetting all of these bad puns. You are not king of puns, not by any point.
I will relish my title of Duke Pun King. Pun Duke.
I
that'll be
don't
good for
even
now.
want to know. Remind me to have words with your boss about lynching you publicly. Either way, House of Gamers,
He
ballers
did
in their
play it
court.
absolutely amazingly. Like the lifts he actually got on the level 1 engagement actually set up that kill for them with the Naga and the gyro. So I look for big things coming out of the Rubik in this game.
Well, Anderson has proven that he knows what he's doing with the Rubik. He's proven that he does have the presence of mind to just be everywhere in a team fight. That, combined with the Nyx Assassin, combined with the initiation power of a Bat Rider, I'm hoping for big things. We just need a big carry that can capitalise off these positional engagement spells, as the DK has picked up for House of Gamers. That is most likely their mid lane. For AI, I would love to see a gyrocopter. Something that can capitalise, something that can bring down hell with AoE, can chew through an ancient apparition with flat cannon alone. Something like a gyro in my mind would be perfect.
I would be thinking more along the lines of a hero that can build some who
10
will go
seconds
in
remaining.
Assault Cuirass or a Desolator, or at least a mid that can build into that.
5 seconds
With
remaining.
the Dragon Knight, high armor, but they are going to go up with the Luna.
Radiant team pick.
Again, there's some good AoE damage as long as it isn't in the middle of a creep wave. Something that can capitalise off it as well. Pull one back, let Luna mince them with the glaives, and then bring down Lucian beams. Very good control, very good damage so far coming out of AI. Just how they're going to round this off. What are they going to go for? Is it going to be an off-lane Nyx, an off-lane Bat, a tri-lane Luna, or are we going to see
10
a
seconds
potential
remaining.
off-lane pickup here for AI, which would be along the lines of, say, a Clockwork, and a clock in my mind could
5
work
seconds
very well.
remaining.
House of Gamers, on the other hand, they have their DK. They've got their big, tanky mid-hero who
Reserve
can
time.
stand toe-to-toe with the likes of a Bat Rider. They've got their Mirana, they've got their AA. Where are we going to go with, is this going to be an aggressive try, a defensive try? They have their options. Weaver is still in the pool, which takes a good note. Earthshaker, however, will be the pickup. Oh, this is going to be good. Earthshaker combined with an AA and a Mirana, this screams to me aggressive try. They can easily pick off kills with that combination.
Yeah, very, very easily. You get that Fisher. If you're able to block their escape, it's as easy right clicks for
10
the
seconds
Mirana and the
10
Ancient
seconds
Apparition to be able to
remaining.
pick them off.
5 seconds remaining.
I will be interested to see, because if this is very, very likely to be an aggressive tri lane, is what they want
Reserve
to go
time.
for their safe lane, Farmer. And obviously, like I said, their DK will be fairly safe in his lane and really won't require the roaming of the Earthshaker and the Ancient Apparition to help them out.
Radiant
So it really
team
does
ban.
facilitate their ability to run this aggressive tri lane.
Well, technically, DK could go down and solo the safe lane. You could then pick up a Templar Assassin or something along that ilk in the mid lane, something that can chew through the low armor heroes like the Rubik
10
and the
seconds
Nyx.
remaining.
Other options you could see for the safe lane, the Weaver pickup. I've mentioned before
5
Doom being
seconds
banned out, so
remaining.
he's not going to be present this game. And there goes the OD. So they're fearing that this is an off-lane bat and their mid lane is still open for AI. House of Gamers might have this one right. Mid laners to go up against a Dragon Knight. Templar Assassin is one of the better ones. Meld Strike, negative armor, get in there with right click after right click, and Refraction just to avoid all of the damage. TA does sound like a good choice to me.
For House of Gamers, like you said, it could be the DK at the bottom. Equally, no matter where they run the DK, as long
10
as they got that
seconds
aggressive
remaining.
tri lane, I would actually like to see a puck either in the mid lane or in the
5
safe lane.
seconds remaining.
The silence is very, very useful up against like the Rubik and the Bat Rider. You can use the Dream
Reserve
Call
time.
if the Bat does lasso one of your carries. And obviously they've got the fallback, because Mirana not a very, very potent position 1 carry. You've got the fallback of Dragon Knight and the mid-game presence of the Puck.
I do agree a Puck would be a very wise pickup here, but it's ball in artificial intelligence's court right now. Are we looking for an offlane or are we looking for that mid? Depends on where this Bat Rider wants to go. Technically, if they really wanted to play greedy, they could put the Bat Rider in the jungle, the Nyx on the offlane, and pick up another mid, so they've got more experience across the board. There are options here with AI's lineup, and I do love to see flexible lanes. They're not hard locked into whatever lane at all. They've not picked up something that, say, is a clockwork, and that doesn't really work in anything but the offlane. You can put a clock mid, but it's unorthodox. You can put a clock paired up with something in support, but it only really works with a Bane. And it will be the Puck pickup.
The clockwork actually would have been brilliant in the mid situation up against the DK.
Okay, up against the DK,
absolutely tears through any melee hero.
In the mid lane, I did say it would be a unorthodox pick, though. But House of Gamers, it will be the Puck. For House of Gamers, it will be AI, it's the Puck. It's going to be a safe lane Clinks by my estimations, and an aggressive tri-lane Mirana AA Earthshaker. On that note, I shall introduce the side of the House of Gamers as soon as we all load in. Just waiting on one more pick. There we go. For House of Gamers, we do have Maglev Gank Train on that Clinks. We've got Nota on the Earthshaker, Saj Corsage on the Dragon Knight, who's now called Saj for the rest of the game before I make that mistake once again. Up on the Mirana, we have Malum, and he has done beautiful things with the Mirana before, so can he repeat previous performances? That's what we want to see. And finally, we have Key on that Ancient Apparition. And over to Artificial Intelligence, we have Mr. Anderson on the... problem with Steam login? That's not good. We have Mr. Anderson on the Rubik. We have Henki on the Nyx Assassin. We have Spix on the Luna. We have Kefka on that Puck. And finally, we have Helvild on that Bat Rider. It's not a Helvild Nyx, which does surprise me slightly. But the interesting thing is going to be where we send these lanes for AI.
It will be a defensive tri-lane. It's almost cemented that House of Gamers are running aggressive tri-lane. They can't afford to leave the Luna and the Rubik. So that's where the decision was to, I think, put Helvild onto the Bat Rider rather than the Nyx. If House of Gamers had a more defensive carry, and we're going to have their carry on the safe lane, they would have tried to run that Bat Rider jungle. However, it could be that they might be trying to dodge the aggressive tri-lane and send the Bat Rider onto the safe lane.
Well, an aggressive, it does look like an aggressive tri-lane Luna. Doesn't generally work out for the most part. They do have a good amount of nuke damage, but they are lacking the Visage. In this lineup, I would personally, if we were going aggressive, drop the Nyx Assassin and pick up a Visage. Just because of the Soul Assumption burst damage. But matchups across the board, we have DK versus Puck, we have Bat Rider versus an aggro tri, and we have a Clinks up against a defensive aggro, what will be a defensive style aggro tri. They're doing this to dodge, they're not doing this to hunt and get kills. I actually expect the lanes to rotate once they realise that they're dodging. We put the tri versus tri.
I'm wondering how they want to, who's going to first?
The battle begins for good and all.
Both teams are likely to try and get a kill on their respective aggressive tri-lane, and they'll try and rotate through. They'll try and push that 3v1 advantage, and if they get that advantage, then they'll rotate back to the try-on-try with that nice little advantage for them.
But I will point this out, we do have Smoke present on Key with the Ancient Apparition. He's going to be looking just to rotate and gank with the Earthshaker when they find an opening, when they find an opportunity. They will try to go down and bring down the Puck with the help of Saj.
Equally, we do have the Smoke on the Nyx Assassin as well. And
True.
it has to be asked, who is the safer lane? Actually, they're going to use the Fisher straight away onto Helvild.
Yeah, but the arrow did miss by the looks of things, and Helville should be able to escape this Firefly there just so he doesn't get pursued. Meantime, bot lane, we've got Maglev. Got to be very careful. He knows the Nyx is about. He knows something's wrong. He can't really afford to go past where that creep wave is now. And, well, you can see the support from Rubik there doing his best to try to pull this lane back. They want this near their tower. They want it to so Maglev cannot get anything. Maglev has to be very careful on this. You were going to ask me which tri-lane I think is safer?
Yep.
I would say House of Gamers tri-lane is safer, mainly because their tri-lane is built around being aggressive, whereas AI's is built around being defensive. They want to hunt and get kills. They're safe if they get the farm. They're better if they get the kills.
Yeah. One of the things that was what happened with the level 1 engagement onto the Batrider, the Chilling Touch didn't hit the Marana. Which, even if the Fisher would have been enough to be able to lock down the Batrider through enough of the right clicks if the Chilling Touch did touch the Marana. But since the Marana did get off 3 auto attacks throughout that engagement, that would have been enough to pick off the Batrider. A thrown out arrow completely airballs. They're just trying to mind games here for Malum.
Well, all it means is Helvild needs to be very careful. I'm expecting Nota to actually drop a Fisher here. They do have the combination. There's the Fisher. Arrow to fly. It will miss, but Helvild will just get away. They're not enough damage. They needed one more auto attack coming through from that AA. Not quite enough, just coming up short. And if that arrow, that's twice the arrow has missed in what would, in my mind, be one of the easiest ways to land an arrow. Slight misplays coming out of House of Gamers there. In the meantime, Henki doing his best to pull creeps around, just trying to avoid things. He's going to find himself a DD rune by the looks of things. In all honesty,
they're looking for a Fisher up on top.
Yeah, they're just looking for the opportunity to go into Helvild again. And this is where I expect the First Blood to be. No offense to Helvild at all, but he is not on the safest lane. He is on a lane where it is incredibly dangerous. There's the arrow. Will miss again. That's 3 for nothing in terms of arrows landed for Malum. This is
actually
not 4. Wow. This is not what I expect out of Malum. He usually is so much more on par. Now they're going for it. Will they get it this time? They surely will. Nota picking up the first blood.
And you had better get used to it.
Meantime, back in the mid lane, let's take a look at this little bit of an exchange going on here, as I did get flamed. That is Sai on the DK. The J is apparently pronounced as an I. Meantime, Kefka will just throw blows into Sai. Now, in this mid lane engagement, we have an 18 for 6 Dragon Knight up against an 11 for 3 Puck. I honestly expected Puck to do better in this matchup than currently, due to just having that range on the DK, being able to throw harassment and control the wave a little better in being range. But apparently, it's not that easy.
From what I saw from the early engagements in the mid, the DK got a better block off and was able to have the wave better in his favour. And the Puck had to shoot a little bit uphill, which is problematic for a ranged hero.
Oh.
And just little things like that are enough to turn the balance of a lane.
Creep momentum is such an important thing to keep in mind, especially if one block is better than another. So if this keeps panning out down this road and it delays Kefka's Blink Dagger, in my mind they're going to have problems. And well, look how aggressive Sai is being. He's got that point up in Dragon Blood. He can eat the harass. He doesn't particularly care right now. He's got 8
There's a
armor.
coming from the Nyx and the Rubik.
Aye, this is not where Sai wants to be, and Sai is already aware something's up. Already backed well away. Now, we do have level 3 up on both the Nyx and the Rubik, so they do have a good amount of damage between them, more than enough to bring down Sai with the help of that Puck. But there is reinforcements here for the House of Gamers. Nota is present. He realizes, where are the supports? They've got to be going for the mid. So we're going to have Nota here to just back up Sai in case things go badly. We do already have the power treads available for Sai as well, so he's going to have those flown out to him. Here comes the Dream Coil. Now in come the supports. 1 stun, 2 stun. Silence is there. Do they have enough damage? Sai needs to get out there. He used his wand, bottling up to take through the damage. He needs the stun coming through from Nota. Where's Nota? Nota didn't have any mana, it seems. He used a Fissure on... What did he use a Fissure on?
Right, I think he might have been trying to block the creeps.
You would have thought he would hold that when he realizes the supports aren't there. That is a kill going back the way of AI. A nice rotation and a smoke gank that, in my mind, was choreographed in such a way that it was telegraphed. They saw it coming a mile away, but it still managed to pick up the kill.
Rubik did fall. Rubik died purely to tower because they underestimated how tanky the DK was, and they just didn't have enough damage to bring him down. Also, this is a Clinks that I like to see. You get that early Soul Ring, and you really don't try and go for like a 15-minute Orchid. A 22-minute Orchid is completely fine in the situation, but you get those treads up early, and you're actually able to make a presence purely with Searing Arrows and Death Pact, and you're always able to sustain yourself, because Death Pact does give you a health back, and the Soul Ring means you can always cast it.
Well, he's not going to have a very hospitable lane, so he's just going to get whatever he can in the jungle. I completely agree with this. Though, however, Luna is currently 35 for 12. That's a pretty well-farmed Luna, and they want this tower.
They're going to go for the puck. They've got a Death Pact on a Centaur, and the Searing Arrows is online.
All it will take is a Dragon Form and a Dragon Tail. There it is. Should be more than enough. Kefka should go down here. More than enough damage.
You saw the damage that came out of the Clinks for that 130s, 140s. He's only level 5. Or he was level 5. He's now 7. That one rotation was enough to bump him up 2 levels.
Well, Maglev is living up to his name. The gank train is starting here. But can AI stop it? They're going to be looking for this tier 1 in the mid lane, as well as this tier 1 on the top lane as well. And with Nota positioned here, this is beautiful positioning from him. Anything in that vicinity, stunned, blocked, dead, due to an arrow combo if the arrows can land. But this should be the first tier 1 of the game, as Puck does pop his haste rune. Then again, Luna is equally looking to try to get a tower for a tower. She's cracking on that bottom one. However, they do try to get the stun through on Helvet. Another arrow will unfortunately miss, but is there enough damage to bring him down? One more right click will be all it takes. Where's the Clinks? They need one more. Not gonna get it though.
The puck is coming in with the haste on the bottom.
No blink yet though. He's going to find Malum. The silence is there. The orb. And that's going to be the end of Malum and his constant pest. We also have TPs up from Luna and from the Rubik. The tier 1 did go down in favour of House of Gamers. Are we going to see the turnaround and fight? No. House of Gamers want none of this. They're already well enough away. Nota falling far back. Wisely so. They don't want to they don't want to mess around with a potentially a XV5 situation.
Yeah, the bottom tower will be denied by Maglev.
A good swing of gold going down in favour of the House of Gamers here. Now, back on top lane, Malum throws the arrow, but unfortunately will impact another creep. He is not having a good day with those arrows, is he?
I think what he's going for is that for every arrow he throws, there's still the chance that it hits. Especially the ones like that on the creep, where he was just shooting into the middle of a group of enemies. The ones that try and interact with the Fissure, those he really shouldn't be missing. But the ones where he's just firing them randomly, hoping for the hit, it's more understandable that those ones do hit a creep or miss. They are going to find him though.
Well,
and there's the nuke damage. This is what the potential for their tri-lane, this is where it was. They do have a lot of nuke damage, and they also have good sustained damage.
Meantime, mid lane Kefka getting opened up on, and effectively obliterated. He melted. I was keeping my eye on the middle lane, that's why I missed the kill onto Malum. But he was up there alone versus what he knew would be more than one person. Now they've just taken the mid lane. That's 2 tower advantage in favour of House of Gamers over 1 deny. And at this point it's really how can AI stop this snowballing out of control? Because we'll take a look at the gold graph at this point in the game. And we can see that the lead is starting to build for House of Gamers. That's 3k gold advantage. Small, but 10 minutes.
Perfect.
Aye.
No risk for the arrow being missed there. Point blank range.
And Spix will have to TP out of this one. But I'm trying to keep my eyes on the mid lane since Kefka has been brawling a little bit with the DK. Meantime, Experience will take a quick look at that as well. Just above, well, just under 2k for House of Gamers. And in all honesty, this is going to slowly ball out of control for the house if AI are not careful. They need to get specific kills. They need to kill the Clinks, and they need to kill the DK. These are two heroes that if they get left unopposed, they will snowball out of control very quickly. We also need to see a BKB come up for Spix on that Luna as soon as humanly possible, just due to the sheer amount of stuns coming out of the house.
When that shadow was used, they're going to try and find the puck. We'll be able to dodge that.
Well, they've got the smoke coming in behind them. This is not where AI want to be.
They've got the high ground advantage.
True, but one stun goes out on Kefka. Silence goes out. Dream Call to drop, but here comes the damage they need. Sai might go down here. In fact, he does manage to get one kill. In comes the Eclipse. That's going to clean up Sai and get the kill onto the AA. Now looking for Malum. They're not going to find Malum, but in comes the Fisher. In comes the Starfall as well. Do they have enough damage to bring out Spix? In comes Maglev. That's more than enough. Can they find extras? They need to get Kefka if they can. But no. Maglev's going to back off there. That's a little bit of an interesting engagement. That was 3 for... Was that 3 for 3?
3 for 2.
3 for 2 in
unless
favour.
Unless the Rubik respawned extremely quickly, which at level 5 probably did. So, yes, 3 for 3.
Long range arrow does come up just short for the house.
The really crucial thing about that fight is that Luna wasn't there at the beginning.
If she was there at the beginning with that massive silence Dream Core combination, that would have been a completely different fight.
And the problem is that the Rubik and the Batrider both were hit by the Ice Blast coming out of Key, and it just absolutely nuked them down. And I think it was the Rubik that went down there quite early on in the fight. Has now got his 6, so we'll look to steal those spells, potentially get that
Nota gets engaged on by the Vendetta. This should be more than enough. In comes the Orb. Silence there as well, and one stun comes through. More than enough. Little bit too far aggressive on that one. He was up far too far. Once again, the arrow's threading the needle. Not having a good day with that Mirana.
Meanwhile, Maglev is getting close to his pocket. Got his first Oblivion Staff and has got the Robe and the Magi for the second one. So we'll be getting a fairly decent timing on that, maybe 17, 18 minutes. Actually, we'll find the Luna. Doesn't have a Death Pact on, so actually is not able to kill the Luna in a situation.
Yes, but a Global Frost Blast might be more than enough. Long range arrow to fly. Oh, once again coming up just short. But Malum, he wants to chase this maybe.
Arms to defend itself. What a brave tower.
Yeah, without like the Ice Blast or the Mirana there was no chance for the Clinks to try and take that kill.
Meantime, Helvil's trying to farm up his Blink Dagger. He needs that Blink on that bat as soon as humanly possible. He didn't have a very hospitable lane on his own part, so looking for whatever gold he can get here in the jungle. And pings go out. They realise something's fishy here.
No, they've got the Radiant do have the ward scouting them out. Meanwhile, the Puck got the Invis Rune at the bottom, 250 gold away from picking up her own Blink Dagger.
If AI can get these Blink Daggers online, they are by no means out of this. They need to get a Blink up on Bat, and they need the Blink up on Puck. Once they have both of these items, then they can start looking for those longer range, aggressive initiations that AI seem to like.
The Radiant should really do something about that middle tower.
Say again?
Look at the bottom tier one. Adorable little red dragon there.
I'm blind. What the hell are you on about?
Rubik had soul in the DK ult.
Oh, I see. I don't know about you sometimes. I mean, maybe we should send you off to a rubber room. I think it might just be a little bit better for you.
In all credit to myself, I think I still could injure myself there.
Well,
okay, the blinks are now coming in force. We get a bat, we get the Puck.
with both of those Blink Daggers online, we're looking for the aggressive, longer range initiations. The key targets they need to catch, however, would be the Clinks, Maglev, if they can catch him. Or the other more important target in my mind, considering the threat he does have in these teamfights, is Nota. If they can catch the Earthshaker before he manages to lay down his combination of spells, that is going to be pretty big in terms of teamfight potential.
They need to give Spix his level 11. He's 250 experience of it. That one level difference in the Eclipse could mean the difference between a win and a lost fight.
Well, going from 4 to 7 beams, that's a good 900 damage extra. That's before resistances, mind you. And the push on the tier 1 mid might be the call there.
Yeah, Rubik still has the Elder Dragon form, so it will be nice to be able to get that. The Ice Blast will hit all of them. There's no engagement for them.
There's no follow-up though, it's purely used to try to deter this. Blink, stun, Dragon Tail, there's going to be no lasso there. That was beautiful to see. Now Helvild forced to think again, this might not be the wisest idea with reactions like that, as Blink Dagger is now available for the big Earthshaker himself. Nota with that dagger is going to be huge in these fights. You saw how grouped up the AI side were in that fight. That's not what you want versus an ES.
Also, Spix, 1300 gold away from finishing his BKB. Already sitting on, when he's got his strength edge on, nearly 1400 health. So he's not easy to take down, even with all of this nuke damage.
Well, it's going to be very telling. It's going to be a matter of the next 5 minutes will decide the fight. It's a case of who wants to jump first. It's basically Blink Dagger chicken. Who blinks first and makes the move. Because there is enough counter-initiation on both sides here.
Also, with the Klinks really close to finishing up his Orchid, like I said, it was going to be a 17-18 minute one, and it's only the 70 gold away just for the recipe net right now.
Maglev has played a phenomenal Klink so far. 0 deaths, 2 assists, he's been around the map and still has 72 CS.
Yeah, he has played this Klink absolutely beautifully. He was managing to completely outstrip the Batrider on his respective lane.
Oh.
Meanwhile, a smoke coming out of artificial intelligence. With the double blinks, this could be massive. They've got the level 11, and they know the Ice Blast is down.
Do they? That was only the marker. That wasn't the Ice Blast itself.
Yes, but it still puts it on cooldown.
True, it still puts it on cooldown, but AI wouldn't know it's been used.
No, I'm pretty sure you can see the marker. Regardless, they will find Klinks.
There's the jump in. That's what they need. They need to grab Maglev. But what an Echo Slam! That shredded everyone! And the arrow hit after that as well. Triple kill for Nota. What the hell just happened there?
Klinks was killed by a neutral. They didn't even get the kill credit for the Klinks.
God damn, Nota! But in comes Kefka, looking just for that consolation kill, does manage to get the Earthshaker. Nota needs to be a little bit more careful. Now the arrow hits! 2 arrows in a row! Malum trying to redeem himself there.
Oh, the neutrals taking that kill of the Klinks was just adding insult to injury there.
Oh, that was just something special. Respect Earthshaker and Blink Daggers. That is the lesson for the day, ladies and gentlemen.
Is all alone in the world, being attacked.
In the meantime, here comes Henki. Here comes the counter-initiation. Here comes the aggression from AI. Are they going to go for this? If they go on anyone, they need to bring down Key, and that's where they're going to start. The Impale does land. Where's the follow-up? Lucian to fall. Key should go down here. What's stolen? Arrow was stolen. Arrow was stolen. Does thread the needle, though. There's going to be no follow-up on that. And now, well...
He will fall. And AA is actually alive.
And they do manage to bring down Anderson to boot. Klinks of those long-range arrows.
Yeah, he's now got up that Orchid. Just finished up his treads and probably will transition to either BKB or potentially something like a Chrysalis or even a Blink Dagger just to be able to try and keep up with them. Blink Gaming is the name of the game in this matchup.
To be fair, this is Game of Daggers. The Iron Throne weren't made of swords, it was made of daggers, clearly. What? And we are going to be seeing a potential Aghanims come up for Nota. Very good pickup here. If he keeps getting those big Echo Slams, having double Echoes on heroes will be good. The BKB is up now for our Dragon Knight friend.
Yeah, we're still putting
Dire's bottom
away
tower is
away
under
for the
attack.
Luna
Run,
here.
little bottom
That
tower,
800
run.
gold in a
That's
situation
not
where she
good
can't
for the
safely
Radiant.
farm, losing all of the outer towers.
Well, not only can
Engaging apparition,
Oh, that's not
2100
good for
gold.
the Radiant.
I honestly expect to see the Aghanim Scepter coming up for key. We both agree how strong AA's Aghanim's upgrade is. In fact, I think it
Radiant's
might be
top
one
tower
of the
is under
strongest in the
attack.
game, if not the
About
strongest.
time.
I wouldn't be surprised to see him pick up a 4-star, however. Just get a bit safe, because if you do miss that item blast, it's a 4200 gold item that is completely wasted.
And Nota, in the meantime,
think-
is farming up quite strongly himself.
Yeah, a safe bet would be to try and get that 4-star just to be able to preserve your team.
It is an option. It depends how the next few minutes play out for House of Gamers, in my mind. However, we do have Maglev farming up here in quite a dangerous area. We do have presence of Spix and of Anderson. Maglev
We
needs
don't
to be
have enough
careful.
lockdown for him.
Well, they do with Helvid here, but at this point, well, Maglev, he's actually thinking of going back for a hunt. But he does have good backup with him. He's got Malum and Key, and these two combined with Maglev can shred heroes. And hell, this is a Maglev with a Centaur buff as well. Meantime, we
there's
do
some
have
nice-
an Invis rune bottled for Sai, and from here on in, well, this is really ball in the house. House of Gamers decide the next set of team fights. What is your opinion so far on how the Rubik has played out?
I think there's very little he's been able to do in this matchup. Rubik is a very, very much a hit or miss hero. I would have preferred for him to put some levels into the null field, however. With the Earthshaker, with the ultimate, the extra magic resistance would not go amiss.
Well, here we go. It seems we've got that fight coming up top lane. We even have the Clinks from Maglev rotating up as well. Here comes the Moonlight Shadow. This is what they need. They're going to walk right over that sentry, though. They know something's wrong, and even the pings come out.
Yeah, they know it's there because they just had a sentry of their own dewarded. The Luna, however,
Long range arrow,
Very-
unfortunately. That's going to be a hit and a miss. And Henke's lurking around as well, but he's walking straight... sorry, no, that's wrong team. Colorblind, clearly. Henke's just lurking around. He's looking for whatever he can find, but got to be careful. Pings go out on that other sentry ward.
yeah, the sentry wards are just in range of each other.
Talk about tenuous. It is who blinks first. And you've got the entire
House of-
side of House of Gamers just lurking. They want to fight, but they're not finding the option to fight.
Yeah, some really nice like sort of stalling coming out of AI there. Meanwhile, Kefka getting up his items, 2200 gold now. If it going towards that Hex for him, can get the ultimate orb right now, and will give him some really needed survivability. One of the real flaws about their lineup right now is coming into the Batrider for me. You really want the 4-staff at this point, and it really hurts him in that he can't 4-staff away. with
But that helps
target.
isolate a hero, but he's not had the best game, especially when you consider how House of Gamers have been playing this one. I mean, look at the graphs. They're managing to try to peak this graph and get some farm of their own, but it's a 12k advantage at this point in terms of the house. Throw on top of
Also,
that,
it's
7.5k
a-
experience.
There's also going to be a Yules up for the puck, preferring to go just for that defense, get up against the Orchid over the potential Scythe of Ice, which I do agree with. It will be really, really useful to be able to, once you pop that Orchid, just pop the Yules and you will be fine and dandy.
A
BKB
very
is up to
wise
6,
pick. Well,
and
the
nearly
BKB...
3,000 gold on the Marana.
With the BKB, it's going to be a case of, we've got our BKB now, do we want to try to fight or do we want to continue farming? At this point in, I don't think AI can stand and fight. They need to just keep farming this Luna.
Yeah, but meanwhile they've got they've got Key. Oh, Moonlight Shadow is going to be cast, and they will find the Rubik. A nice sentry. He's there. We'll scout out the Klinks and just get him to safety.
I was more keeping my eyes on what Malin was doing. He was lurking up here, looking for the arrow opportunity on the Luna.
Yeah. But the thing is, with the farming game, Key 2,000 gold away from an Aghanim Scepter. Nota 1,200 gold away from a full Aghanim Scepter. Got the BKB coming up in about 1,300 gold for Maglev. The AC is well on its way for the DK, got the Hyperstone and the 1k in the bank. And the Marana has just finished up a full Manta style. The farming game is not in AI's favour. And this is what they need to do. They're smoking out and they're going to see if they can pick up the DK. The DK would be a really nice pickup for them right now.
And DK has no attempt at backup at all. But in comes the Dream Call. Dream Call for the DK may not be necessary, but, well, BKB propped as well. Going to look for Spix and doing good damage, but in comes the Batrider with that lasso. That should be the end of this aggression. Sai should go down here. In comes the... However, in comes the Ice Blast. That's going to kill a Luna.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Not worth it.
No, they committed a lot to kill...
To kill them.
Yeah. They committed a lot to kill that Dragonite, and they lost themselves a Rubik and a Luna. That is a pretty huge trade.
The Dire's top tower is doing its best, but it doesn't look good.
Madam is just content to sit and just poke arrows into this tower all day long. In comes Kefka, though, looking for the option. There's the Orchid.
Only a matter of time.
Not going to be able to turn around and get the initiation on that, though. And we do have those Ancients for his team as well. So we do have a full stack ready for that DK for when he respawns. He's very close to that level 16 as well. So we're soon going to have Frost Dragon rotating around. And Frost Dragon is the last thing Luna wants to consider.
Yeah, it's really going to be difficult for Luna to be able to even move around in these fights and try and catch up to use that use her auto attacks with that really tiny range. Is just going to be really difficult. With Nota, very, very close to finishing up his Aghanim Scepter, 270 gold. Got 800 gold for the Ancient Apparition, who actually has never left this Ancient spawn. He's been sat here throwing out Ice Blast and stacking. That's been the name of the game for Key right now.
Well, Key isn't exactly in the I'm going to farm all the gold in the world business. He's letting the rest of his team do that, and he'll get his Aghanims when he gets them in the fights.
Yeah.
I mean,
Haste!
stacking these Ancients for DK, who's going to split the experience with the AA from Key. That's the name of his game. He doesn't really want to go and drain gold from everyone else.
There's the Aghanim Scepter for the Earthshaker.
We're looking for those Colossal Echo Slams now. And he's going to go back to base and regen. The window of opportunity here for AI is slowly closing. We do even have a BKB up for Maglev as well. And with Maglev with a BKB, it's going to be very, very hard for AI to find any opportunities here.
Luna really needs to buy up a second item very shortly. He has no second DPS item. 2,600 gold. Potentially saving up for the Eagle Song. Trying to get that Butterfly would be really effective. That evasion would be able to turn this game around, but they don't have enough space to be able to farm that.
The Ancients are actually so heavily stacked, the stack didn't work. Long range Ice Blast coming in. Is this going to be enough to hit anyone? There's one. Here comes the Fisher. Do we have the follow-up? Frost Dragon, they want to chase. They want to chase. They do get the Dragon Tail. Where else? They need more. They need more. They need to get these kills. In comes the Eclipse from Luna, but in comes the equal BKB from Maglev. They're going to bring down Spix. In comes the Echo Slam. It's going to do good damage, but they do manage to blink away the puck. Kefka should be able to escape this. They're going to continue chasing, but he's gone. He is long gone, surely. No long-range arrows this time round. They started the fight and AI just crumbled. They could not find their footing.
The thing is, Luna couldn't even stand up to the Klinks through the BKB. With the searing arrows being able to go through BKB, it is a massive change to Klinks. The damage is absolutely insane.
Alright, and now they're giving Key the farm, on the AA. He is so close to that Aghanims at this point. He's a mere 300 gold away. Meantime, DK, all those Ancients. He loves Key for this. That's going to be a full AC in no time at all. He's a mere 1,200 away. He's already got it?
Yep, he had the
component,
and the chainmail in the courier.
In comes another smoke from AI. Could they be looking for Roche? No, they're going to go cut into the jungle. This could be a little bit risky. They don't know where 4 members of House of Gamers are, and in comes another long-range Ice Blast. This time I'm going to scout the Roche pit. And they're looking for Key at this point, and Key needs to get out of there, but in comes the Blink from the Puck, as well as the steal. That's the stolen Frost Blast, isn't it? Yes, they did steal Frost Blast. That's a big one. Now they get the turnaround onto 2. They need to catch them, though. In comes the Dream Coil on 2, as well as pulling back Malum into the middle of the entire team. Nota needs to get the hell out of here, but no, he's caught. There's the Vendetta damage, and down goes Nota.
Will you not rise in my presence?
Sai is
Like,
here.
really paying off.
Radiant structures are fortified.
Not only did it really pay off, it got Rubik one of the best spells he could
Radiant's
possibly
bottom
hope to
tower
steal.
has seen better days. Radiant's bottom tower was always the weakest tower.
We'll take a look at what this did to the graph in a second, but with Frostblast now present for another, I don't know, 2 minutes, it gives Anderson the opportunity to, well, find and snipe kills. However, we do now have Aghanims up for Key on the AA. 18-second ults now a very big threat to consider, and speaking of 18-second ults, that's a big one, and here comes Maglev. He's going to find 1, he's going to find 2. Can he get any more? Yes, he can. That's double. Now looking for Rubik, 1 shot, and that will kill him. He'll shatter. Double kill for Key, double kill for Maglev. 2 heroes versus 5, and AI cannot stand.
The Aghanim's Frost Blast is doing immense amount of damage. The Aghanim's Earthshake wasn't even there. The Mirana wasn't there. The DK wasn't there. It was just the Clinks
Dire's middle
sniping
tower
off,
is under
lowering
attack.
their health and getting that shatter.
Dire has fortified its structures.
You got to be careful when you concede the AA to House of Gamers. We have seen them do magical things, and I think I am correct in saying I don't think we've seen House of Gamers lose when they have
Middle
AA.
barracks are under attack.
I think House of Gamers have,
shit.
I don't think they've actually lost a game so
Dire's
far.
middle barracks. Dire's middle barracks
Well,
shall be remembered.
now they're going to look for the turnaround. Can they catch Sai? It doesn't seem so. They do have Batrider trying to grab Malum, as well as the Dream Coil dropping. Do they have Notice damage? Do they have the Echo Slam? Yes, they do. They need to get it over the other side, though. That's a pretty damn decent Frostblast, though, cleaning up, and double kill for Key, double kill for Sai. It doesn't matter at this point. They're going to go for the tier 4s, but in comes Spix. In comes the Bat, in comes the Puck. They did buy back for this. I don't think they're going to be able to stand. Do they still have the Echo? Yes, they do. In comes the Eclipse. They need to get the Blink in. Where is it? There it is! Pretty good Echo, but it's still not going to be enough for AI to stop this massive train of pain as Maglev picks up another double, and GG is called. House of Gamers take it.
No way
Radiant
they were
victory,
able to
an
stand
achievement
up,
for the ages.
even just to the damage of the Clinks alone. Put the DK out of the measure, put the Mirana out of the measure. They won that. They could win that game purely on AA and Clinks, shown by that Roshan.
That
Amazing
Roshan
game by
was
Maglev there.
very well scouted out, and hell, that combination of spells, that was just beautiful.